Boys, it's been a fat minute. I haven't posted in some time now, but we're gonna get straight into it. I'm gonna be teaching you guys what to do exactly. But I promise you right now, I'm gonna imagine I'm speaking to a baby here. 4 steps and 4 steps only in order to launch a successful high-ticket paid program. Okay, somebody requested this type of video, so I thought, why not? It's really simple. So many people overcomplicate it. But let's just get straight into it, boys. And the first thing that you have to understand is that it does not matter how many followers that the person have. Now, listen, if you are the creator or if you are the person, like the growth operator working with the creator, a lot of the times people get so tied in and thinking about he has to have 50K, Miley Cyrus has to be following him. He has to have the Miami high rise, all that kind of stuff. I promise you that is not the case. As long as there's some pretty decent bottom of funnel videos, you should be good, if I'm going to be honest, okay? As long as the creator is educating the audience and they are actually warm, all that kind of good stuff, it won't matter, I promise you right now. I've personally run up some pretty decent numbers with a creator that only had 5,000 Instagram followers. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Just listen and you'll understand exactly how to do the exact same thing, okay? First off, if you obviously don't know who I am, I pretty much run like a marketing agency for creators. I run all their paid programs, all that kind of stuff. Right here, you can see off launch with one of my creators, we ended up doing 37K cash collected. Now, this is obviously off launch. This isn't like for the whole month. This is just purely off launch because at the end of the day, I'm teaching you how to run a successful launch, and that's it. Little story I posted recently, you can see, and some more confirmed payments you can see here. We linked from Zapier to Google Sheets. If you know, you know. Anyways, boys, now this was completely under 2 days, right? I'm going to show you guys how to do the exact same thing. Again, this is a screenshot of my creator that I ran this with, 5,000 followers. Nothing crazy, I promise. You don't need, you know what I mean, I shouldn't say that. Well, pretty much, you shouldn't feel like you need a creator that has the same amount of clout as like Donald Trump, okay? It doesn't really matter that much. A lot of the times, what I see as a green flag is if the creator has a Discord, then I'm not gonna lie to you, usually it's game over because in them Discords, there are people active and they're ready to buy from the creator. They're waiting for the creator to actually launch something, so it should be a lot easier. And just so you can see for a bit more proof of concept, look at these motherfuckers saying size matter. Size does not matter. I'm obviously talking about in terms of subs and all that kind of stuff and like Instagram followers. Just want to show you guys so you actually understand this is real. You can see this is a guy named Pierre Corey. He ran up Fredo 25K in 4 days, which is obviously decent numbers. It's not crazy like in today's day. There are definitely a lot more impressive numbers, but this was 4K followers, which again is pretty impressive, like completely based off the amount of followers that he had. Now, look, let's get straight into it. The first things first is you need to collect emails if you're not already collecting emails. Now, what I like to do is for my creator, I would always build out some sort of landing page, pretty much some sort of way to get people to sign their emails up, get their phone number, get all information possible. I promise you right now, if you don't understand the importance of collecting emails from very, very early on, then I'm not gonna lie to you, you're gonna get fried and you're not gonna make nowhere near as much money as you wanna be making, okay? Now, all you have to do is build out a little landing page or something. Say you're gonna provide some free game or whatever it may be, any sort of free incentive just to get them to sign up, put their email, collect some numbers from early on, okay? Second thing you wanna do is obviously warm up the email, get people to take it out of spam. If the creator has to post a story, some kind of way just to get it out of spam, and warm the email up and get people to reply to it, get people active. I promise you that's a big game changer. And I promise you right now, not a single person in the space told me about this. I was so confused on why I was getting sent to spam, all this kind of stuff. So you have to do your own little things in order to actually make sure that the email is warmed up, okay? This right here is optional, if I'm going to be honest. You don't need to create a welcome sequence, but it does actually create a better experience so that every time somebody new joins, they're automatically going to get sent through as a welcome sequence. Like, obviously, it is completely optional, but if you do create a welcome sequence, then like, I don't know what to tell you, they're gonna feel more welcome. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anyone can understand that simply. And remember, before any sort of pitch, you just want to spill as much free game as possible. Now, you need to liquidate the audience with as much game as possible. That sounds crazy, but I promise you, that's the way to go forward, okay? Liquidate them with as much game as possible. Make sure that they truly are receiving a bunch of free game, whether it's through the emails, whether it's through stories, all that kind of stuff. Just make sure they're receiving as much game as possible. And quite simply, that is the first step, everything to do with emails. Number two is, this order doesn't really matter, but you have to obviously build out a landing page. I wanted to give a few tips because I've seen some pretty chopped landing pages and I've seen how there are some ones that are people are genuinely losing money because of how ugly it is. This one right here is probably the worst example that I could have chosen myself because I don't know who this is. This person's probably making M's on M's. Maybe they're not. I don't know. But this looks very disgustingly ugly. So I shouldn't have used this example. But it doesn't matter. Anyways, now if you have some experience in the game, you know this is obviously very baseline, very simple. I'm kind of just going from the depths of the start because I'm assuming that you have no idea what to do when trying to build out a successful paid program. So I'm keeping it very simple, but just a little bit of tips here. outline desired outcome on the hero text. Generally, that does help out a lot. And I'll give you a very clear, simple example of what that means. Is like, you can say something like, on the top of the headline, the hero text, I signed the lease to my penthouse with dropshipping after, my girlfriend dumped me and my parents kicked me out of the house. All that good stuff. Now I'm trolling, don't actually use that, but you know what I mean. The VSL will get your creator, or if you are the creator, to obviously record a 5-minute VSL. Something that works really well for me is I usually use this structure, and I get my creators to use this structure, because all you need is the story, the proof, so obviously some sort of proof, urgency to get them to actually want to buy in before you actually mention the offer, and then obviously the CTA itself, right? A CTA is just a call to action, so obviously mentioning, 10 spots, limited availability, 15 spots, limited availability, apply down below, and then my team will reach out to you, all that kind of good stuff. And another thing is, you need social proof. This is screenshots, results. As much results you can add to the landing page would obviously help. Any sort of case studies, if you have case studies, then that's then I'm feeling a bit sick, but doesn't matter. Anyways, as much results as possible. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why I worded it like this. This makes no sense. But anyways, just a CTA button. Keep it as clean as possible. Remember, the page, you don't need to do too much. Just keep it clean. Have what you need to have to get the person to feel comfortable before even applying, all that kind of stuff. And the third thing, see, we're already racing through this. The third thing is building scarcity. Now, this is so important, and so many people go about doing this the completely wrong way, if I'm going to be honest. A lot of the times, what I would do if I'm relaunching somebody's offer, or if I'm launching from scratch, is always limited spots available, okay? I'll be honest, you really should have real scarcity. Don't, fake it, I would say. Have some real scarcity. 10-15 spots only, and work with these 10-15 people for 2-3 months. Get them genuine results, and that's going to help you so much more when trying to scale the offer in the future. And what I use is, generally, I would always utilize their Discord, email, story sequences. Okay, the audience of the creator is obviously going to be in the Discord. They're obviously going to probably have signed up in the email, story sequences. If you post this everywhere, I promise you right now, I did notice that I just said story sequence is a bit weird, but if you post this everywhere, it's going to be in their mind. It's going to be the top thing that, they're thinking about when they're in the shower, all that kind of good stuff. Just make sure you utilize every single thing you have, even if it's a Telegram. If you create a Telegram, if you use your Discord, get creative, okay? I'm not going to tell you exactly what you should do, because it's different for every single creator, but just be creative and don't be a bot. And the thing what you want to do is, you want to do a bit of market research as well, okay? So a lot of the times people think, oh, what should I offer the price? What should I price the offer at? A lot of the times, I offer the price at nothing below $3K, purely because, why are you doing a one-on-one mentorship, right? And the program is less than 3K. It makes no sense. At that point, you just start doing low ticket sales, which makes no sense, and that's not a real thing, obviously. So I'll do a bit of market research, get people to fill out a form, ask them a few, questions, saying, oh, where are you with your trading journey? And then at the end, be like, oh, you working a job, how much money you making? All that kind of stuff. Get creative, okay? I'm not going to break that down too much, because it's kind of self-explanatory, but get creative. Post carousels, do it for your creator, make sure your creator is not working. Me personally, I do pretty much every single thing for my creator. I obviously outsource as well, so obviously I have a ton of people working with me right now, so I'm not completely like that, but I do most of the things for my creator to make sure that, they're not busy doing some, BS that could literally be outsourced by you or other people you're hiring, okay? And just get people in the DMs. It's so simple, right? I don't know why I did this. Isn't even funny, to be honest with you. The audience should be pretty scared and pretty shook. Now, the last thing is, very, very simply, is launch with your sales team. Now, and I'm going to assume whether you, or you have a business partner, or if it's just you yourself, you have a sales team. If you don't, and you're doing everything completely by yourself, and you're taking the sales calls, you're even doing the appointment setting, then you're obviously in the far deep trenches, and you obviously need to work your way up. My personal advice is, I had to close a certain amount of money myself before I even hired any sort of closers, any sort of appointment setters, before I actually started managing that size of a team. This is a bit of off-topic game, but you're not gonna know what's a good close. You're not gonna know what's a good close. You're not gonna know who to hire. You're gonna make so much wrong decisions. Just get in the trenches, close them yourself. When you have that certain amount of money, then obviously, when you've obviously cash collected a certain amount, then you can hire out your closers. Then you should obviously hire out that type of stuff. But if you haven't, then you're worrying about the wrong things, okay? Because you're not going to know what's a good close. You're not going to know what's a good setter, all that kind of stuff, okay? Now, when launching, make sure you drop the landing page link pretty much everywhere. Drop that in the emails, drop it in the Discord, drop it, I don't know, on story, all this kind of stuff. Update people as much as possible. SMS, email blasts, whatever it may be. Have everything ready. But the thing is, so many people take so long to launch, and it makes no sense, because you should have everything ready, bro. You should create the emails, have it done within the first day. The biggest reason why so many people lose out on so much cash is because a little bit of game that maybe you might have heard, maybe you haven't, I don't know, you really need to dial, like the setters need to dial after launch or when somebody signs up or when somebody's applied within the first 5 minutes. 5 minutes maybe even is a bit of a stretch, okay? You need to do it as quick as possible. You will make a ton more money if you just dial up within the first 5 minutes. Have somebody, whether it's you, whether it's your setters, make sure they understand as soon as there's somebody who signs up or somebody who applies within the first 5 minutes, whether they're in the shower, whether they're, you know, in the pool with their boyfriend, they need to dial within that first 5 minutes. It's so simple. Dial quickly, get them booked into a call, Calendly, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, just update them through stories, email. I think I've repeated this like 8 times now, but make sure they're pretty much, oh, I look kind of handsome here. Anyways, but make sure you're obviously utilizing everything possible. And it's so simple. Launch, make a bunch of money, creators happy, all that kind of good stuff, okay? So if you are interested in applying with me, you can obviously check the link down below. If you are a creator, then all you have to do is apply down below, the link below, and my Instagram is going to be there. Follow me. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit sick now, but I'm gonna go to the movies because I'm gonna watch the Obsessed movie. So, but I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. You know, I'm just tired. Anyways, okay. Look, anyways, boys, just, you know, just do all the stuff I said before. Just do all the things I said before. All right, peace out, boys.